Death is the enemy. The first enemy and the last. The enemy always wins. And we still need to fight him.
You're scared, aren't you? What are you scared of?
What is going on, everybody? My name is BobaTalks and welcome to a brand new Game of Thrones trailer breakdown, and this is for episode 6. You guys seem to like my previous Game of Thrones trailer breakdown for episode 5, so I'm carrying on this series, but bearing in mind that HBO accidentally aired this episode, I believe it was in Spain. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it already. For those of you that have, please do not post any spoilers in the comment section down below, because it's really unfair on a lot of people who will still continue to watch it on Sunday. But other than that, everybody, let's get straight into the breakdown. Now, this trailer is very much so focused on Jon Snow and the Suicide Squad heading north of the Wall, and this episode will feature moments from parts of the story with Winterfell or Daenerys in between, but not as long as they usually would be. I really like what Beric says in the trailer: death is the enemy, the first enemy and the last. The enemy always wins and we still need to fight them. Now, in the first couple of clips we get to see the group travelling to the dead, and we see the Hound looking at the mountain, and this is the mountain that appeared to him in his vision in the shape of an arrowhead when he was staring into the fire a few episodes ago. So when they see this, they probably know they're getting very close to the White Walkers. Now, with Daenerys looking out over the sea with Tyrion approaching her from behind, I believe this is meant to express her concern for Jon and the others who have travelled on basically a suicide mission. I mean, a part of me does think that somehow she will join in on this battle to help Jon survive, just merely because of what we see in this trailer. It does look like they are totally and royally screwed if they do not get any assistance from anyone else, such as Daenerys and her dragons. So I'm kind of hoping that in this moment here, Tyrion is saying something to Daenerys to hopefully tempt her to go and help Jon out, because I don't see how any of them are going to survive without the help of anyone else, unless Uncle Benjen is the one to do that for them. Now, on the moment when we hear Beric say the enemy always wins, we see that Jon gets a sight of a load of White Walkers coming his way, and right when we hear we still need to fight them, it jumps to where everyone is surrounded by the winds of winter, and most likely a billion White Walkers coming their way with extremely limited visibility. And that is exactly what they are going to do, fight the White Walkers. But the only interesting thing is about this whole episode is how are they going to get one of the White Walkers out of there with all of these White Walkers coming at them. I just don't see how it's possible unless they get a helping hand from somebody else. Now, as for when we hear Arya in the trailer say you're scared, and then it jumps to Sansa closing her door looking somewhat scared, it's been big speculation that Littlefinger will die this season and that Arya will be the one to do it. Now, I'm unsure as to whether Littlefinger will be killed in this episode, but I do think he will be killed this season. It could be left to the finale, as everything going on in this episode is mainly focused on Jon and the group going out north on the wall, and I think that will consist of most of the episode just because it's going to contain so many crazy things. So I think that it will probably be left to next episode when we see anything to do with Littlefinger and that storyline be resolved somewhat. But either way, I do love the voiceovers in this trailer and how it transitions from, especially this one, Arya saying you're scared aren't you, to the faces of everyone who is awaiting the White Walkers to arrive. I've also seen a lot of people debate as to what is going on in the next scene, as we see the Hound using Gendry's hammer to kill White Walkers, and then we see Gendry using his hammer himself too. Now, it could just be that Gendry dropped his hammer in battle and the Hound is using it just to save his life in time, or maybe he's fallen and the Hound is just using his hammer to fight off the White Walkers. But it's definitely cut this way on purpose to make everyone like us guess. But I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. But yet again, guys, I just want to remind those who have seen the leaked episode to not post spoilers on this subject. Now, I like how we see in this very fast shot that came up in the trailer, Jon coming up against a White Walker very similar to one who he's faced before, and there's no doubt in my mind that Jon will obliterate him just like he did to the previous White Walker. Now, in this scene here, we see men running with torches, and I can only assume that this is happening after the battle, so I'm wondering if anyone or any of the group or the party, or Jon in particular, has made it back to the wall, and this is them running out to quickly get him and shut the gate because maybe walkers aren't so far behind. Maybe this could link in with the whole Uncle Benjen theory in how Jon might get out alive, or might be the only one to get out alive with Uncle Benjen's horse. But in that moment where you see Jon Snow and the others running towards the center of the rock, and the White Walkers who are just coming behind them at the speed of light, really catching up, it's going to be crazy to see if everyone makes it to the rock. When I first saw this trailer, I was really hoping that nobody trips up, because I just feel like we know somebody is going to trip up and be devoured by the White Walkers. So I hope it's nobody like Jorah or anyone else important, and that they do all make it to stand off against the White Walkers. But even then, it feels like we're screwed unless we get the help from someone like Daenerys. But either way, the scene where they're running away from the White Walkers and we hear Jon's breathing is just absolutely dramatic, and I love it so much. And this kind of just ties into what happens next in the trailer, where we see the Night King himself seemingly walking towards something or somebody, and this is what I fear the most, either one of two things: that the Night King is walking to somebody who got left behind, and I'm really hoping that it's not somebody like Jorah or any of the others, because they've all been in the show quite a few seasons, most of the people who went out on this trip north of the wall. Yeah, I have heard a lot of people suggest that it could be Jon Snow meeting the Night King himself, but at the same time, the only reason I don't think that will happen is just because I feel like it's still quite early on for that to happen, and if the Night King was that close to Jon Snow, I do not see how Jon Snow would get out of it in any scenario, because he would be kind of screwed if he was that close to him, especially with the White Walker general behind him and all of the armies behind him. So I'm thinking it could be somebody left behind and they're about to be converted into a White Walker, and that's just going to be really sad to see if it's somebody like Jorah. And I keep saying Jorah because I feel like for some reason he might die, but at the same time I feel like he wouldn't have come back to Khaleesi from the grayscale just to go out and die only an episode later. But I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. And again guys, honestly, no spoilers. It sucks when things get leaked and there's spoilers absolutely everywhere for people to see who aren't going to see it. So please do not talk about anything in the comments below if you have seen the episode. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on it, as it really does show your support for the channel. And maybe even consider subscribing if you want to stay more up to date with videos just like this. Be sure to follow me on all my social media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. The links will be right here or in the description below. But apart from that, everybody, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.